Isabel, check this out. You know when you see something online that just, I don't know, doesn't sit right with you?
Yeah, and it doesn't just happen online. Have you ever overheard a conversation at the tram or bus stop that really riles you up? It's like your internal alarm bells are going off.
That's usually because of our values. These are our fundamental opinions and beliefs that shape how we view the world. Values can be this big word that's pretty hard to understand. There are so many different values you might actually align with. Fun, originality, freedom, faith.
And values aren't just things that we're passionate about, they're also things that give us meaning and purpose. As we grow, maybe it's our family, culture, and faith that shape the things that matter most to us. For me, that's the values of justice and community.
And for me, it's adventure and hard work. We all have different values that we think are most important, and they're shaped in different ways by different experiences. So how do we figure out what our values are? When you see something go down that just makes you feel uncomfortable, it's probably because it's clashing with one of your values.
Now, as we grow, maybe our values might change and can be different to our family and community. This can be pretty challenging, but it can also help us sort out who we are.
Totally. And it's completely possible to be close to someone who has really different values and beliefs to you.
Right, like my best friend, they absolutely hate pineapple on pizza and I love it. So whenever we go for pizza, it's this whole thing of are we gonna get it? Are we not?
Right. I mean, I guess as a compromise though, you could just order half pineapple. I mean, it's important to acknowledge that when it comes to more fundamental differences, compromises may need to be made.
I mean, pizza is pretty fundamental to the core of existence.
Pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, okay, move on. But in all seriousness, it can be pretty weird and hard when people have different values to us, but it can also be a really big positive. It can spark new conversation that's open and constructive, that teaches both sides new perspectives.
Here are our hot tips on how you can kick your values into action.
Hot tip number 1, acting on our values. First, I want you to ask yourself a few questions. 1, what am I most passionate about? 2, what are the qualities and behaviours that you value most in others? And 3, in 1 or 2 words, how would you describe the person that you aspire to be? Your answers to these questions might actually offer up an idea of what your values are.
So once you figure out what your values are, you can use these to guide your everyday decisions and decide where you're going to put your energy into. Hot tip number 2, differences aren't always a deal breaker. It can be pretty tough to have a conversation with someone who has different values to you. But through an open and respectful conversation, you can learn more about someone else's lived experiences and understand the forces that have shaped their values and perspectives.
Yes, but on the other hand, there probably will be times when we are fundamentally at odds with someone else's values. In those moments, it's just important to understand where our differences come from. You know, our different life experiences, upbringings, tough times we've been through, just so we can still respect them as a person. Hot tip number 3, we can learn from our mistakes. Like, we've all had times where even our own actions don't align with one of our values. If that's happened to you, there's no use beating yourself up about it. You can't change the past, but we can use our mistakes to better act on our values in the future.
Ultimately, recognising the values that drive us is important to who we are, and differences aren't always a deal breaker.
Except for pineapple and pizza, because that is just wrong.